Howdy folks, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am your host, The Mighty Bjorn, and today for you I have a Gunner Heat PC video. There was a recent update just dropped for Gunner Heat PC. It was probably one of the most meaty updates I've personally seen so far for Gunner Heat PC. I'm going to go over some of the stuff here and talk about some of the stuff, but I'm not going to be able to get into great detail. Instead, I'm going to post a link to the patch notes. I'm sure I'm going to miss something. I'm going to try to cover as much as I can. The first thing I want to cover, and I didn't really talk about what was on screen, rewind it if you want to take a look, is the fact that the M60A3 model has been updated and it now has camouflage. If you go back and check my older videos, I do believe I actually have a video where I focus on featuring the M60A3 TTS. The model did not have camouflage, and it also did not have infantry equipment, or not infantry equipment, crew equipment on the vehicle. It now does. The model looks great. The camouflage pattern looks great, and it is actually a very authentic camouflage. The next thing I want to cover here is the fact that the M113 now has a functional 50 caliber machine gun, and I'm just blasting some ammunition off here. I haven't quite figured out the ranging because the aperture sight is there for the ranging markers. That's probably something that still needs worked on. There's also no reload animation currently at this time. Actually, the commander himself that's using the machine gun actually has no animations himself. He's just kind of there as a placeholder. That's all stuff that's being worked on. Now, obviously, this is a game that is in development, guys. But we are getting closer to the point where they're soon going to be releasing the next major demo update for the free demo, which I'm actually going to take time and show some of the current generation free demo here in the near future. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you'd like to see that. There's a lot of cool little things in there that's not in the current demo, and it's going to be a nice looking back. So what I'm doing here is I'm shooting up the BRDM. Now, the M113 and the BRDM both seem to have very basic hit models, nothing advanced like the T55A, or, well, sorry, it's a T55AM, I believe, or the M60 has currently. But I am showing here that there is impact models. I am shooting the 50 caliber to show you that the armor can be penetrated with the 50 cal machine gun. The M113 also can be attacked here. I'm actually going to show you that here right now. And I'm just going to use the Angry Wally here. And I'm going to fire a tow missile. Right there is roughly where the engine is. And as you can see, it took a major impact and it damaged the vehicle quite heavily. However, the commander is still alive. And I'm actually trying to pan to the M113 to show you some of the impact damage. It doesn't really show everything there, but basically at this point I actually do try to drive the vehicle, and that the vehicle will not drive off. But the 50 caliber is still operational. The TC can still shoot back. So there you go. I do have that run for me. The Angry Wally here, I shoot at it. It does not actually have impact damage model yet. Now, the next thing, I'm just showing off some of the damage here, and this is the same case. I try to jump in and drive off, and it will not drive off. Actually, the commander is dead as well. So the turret did not traverse. Basically, the BRDM took some heavy damage, and it was non-operational. Now, there was also, as part of the update, there was an update made to the T55 model here. The T55, I feel, looks a lot better. It looks a lot cleaner, a lot smoother, and there's been some other little changes to the model as well. So I'm going to show that off a bit, but I'm also going to show off something else here. So just bear with me. There's a lot of different things I'm going to be showing off, folks. So it's quite long video compared to my normal Gunner Heat PC videos. But I am going to post some links in the video description. Go check them out. I'm going to post one for their website. You can go check out their Patreon. You can get a link to their Discord, things of that nature. Now here we go. We're going to fire as I'm a total shat. Sorry, folks, I've been playing a lot of ARMA. I'm used to the ARMA controls, not the Gunner Heat PC controls. But as you can see there, I put one right in the lower glacis plate of the M60. I fire another shot into the M60. Now, this is heat munition, not Sabo. And there you go. The M60 has caught fire. That is actually new, folks. It was pretty cool to see and you can see the ammo cooking off in the M60, which, yeah, the M60 carries a lot of ammo in some very bad positions to be carrying ammo. And as you can see now, the tank is smoking. Now, I do take a moment here to traverse my turret and actually shoot the T-72. However, slipped my mind up until the moment I popped a few rounds in the T-72. The T-72 actually does not have an impact model yet. Not even a basic one. That is something that was still being worked on. As far as I'm aware of, obviously it's still being worked on. Hopefully it will be ready here soon for the new public build of the demo. But it is nice to see that even the AI does work. As you can see, the turret traversing and it's scanning for targets. Now we're just going to roll up here on the back of the T-72 or the M60. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to see if I can make it catch fire again. This was just an experiment. As you can see, it is taking damage. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get an engine fire, maybe the fuel tank, but it ended up not working. I could not get the vehicle to catch fire again. So pretty much once they catch fire, they catch fire. Now, there are some other things to point out here. I'm going to point it out here very shortly as I'm going to take a look at the M60 model itself. I'll put it around here in the turret bustle, just to make sure there's no ammunition left. Now let's take a look at the M60 here, as I'm old shit, and I actually bypassed the M60 completely. And as you can see, there is a destroyed model of the M60 in the game as well. There also is for the T55. However, there is not for the BRDM2 or the M113. Now, I'm just showing you the new menu. They added missions. They added 4 missions here, folks. We're going to take a look at a couple of them here. I'm not going to show you everything or all the gameplay footage. I'm actually only showing you a little bit of the gameplay footage that I had collected, a very small amount. Now, as you can see here, the AI is driving around, although he's driving in circles. It's kind of weird because at first he just kind of drives in circles like a clown car, and then he just kind of goes off to do his thing. It's almost like the mission loaded before all the AI script had loaded. It's kind of something I'm used to seeing actually with Arma 3 and some other games like that. And I did notice on this mission in particular, not so much the other ones, but this mission in particular really gave me some FPS problems. That is a known issue. That is in the patch notes, or the update notes, if you will. Like I said, link in the video description, as well as there'll be a link in their video description to their website. Guys, take time, check out their Patreon as well. Shoot them some support, help them out. They are doing a very interesting project. They are doing actually a really good job. This game is actually, they've gotten a lot accomplished in the past year, in my opinion. And the more I see them, the more that they work on the game, the more that they release, the more confident I am in what they're doing. Also, join the Discord, guys, so you can get news and updates, things like that. And you can also put in some feedback. The developers are actually talking to actual tank crewmen who served on the various vehicles about how the vehicles react, how they work, things like that. So they're trying to translate real-world information into their game to make the game as accurate as possible. Now, as you can see here, the 3 bot tanks have encountered the enemy. They are engaging. The AI is very basic, but it's nice to see now that the AI shoots back. This is something I warned about a while ago, folks, just no more than a few videos ago, that the AI was going to start shooting back. Well, here we are, they're shooting back. So now what I'm doing is I'm trying to use thermal vision, trying to find these targets where they're hidden at, because unfortunately there is not a communication system. And there we go, there is a T-55. And I can identify that mushroom turret even though I could barely see the vehicle. And there we go, there is a shot fired. And as you can see, it overloaded my thermal vision. That is actually a problem that was quite persistent on the T-55. There's a shot fired. Unfortunately, I took a hit from another T-55 that was next to him. Put a second shot in the first T-55, finished him off. And actually right now I can't move. This T-55 actually had tracked me. And even though he had fired a couple shots, he actually only managed to hit with one, I think. But there we go, so there's two T-55s destroyed. And I did continue playing this mission a little bit further, but I wanted to show that the AI does now shoot back. Let's show some more footage here I collected. Now this is one of the other missions. This is the fourth mission. It's basically, it's nothing, it's a head-to-head MBTs, and what I'm doing here is I am changing the op to night. All the ops start as day ops. You can change them to night. And, you know, that was something we could do with the previous update, that we could change the time cycle from day to night on will, or, you know, at any time. So what I'm doing right now is I'm actually driving over here trying to get into a hull down position. This is actually something I've talked about in the past with fighting positions. I'm trying to get a good hull down position here. I'm going to try to watch that tree line. I know they're coming from that direction. And there we go. I do actually have a thermal contact. Let's try and can't quite get a good look at what it is. But right now I'm in a good, strong fighting position here, so I'm actually just going to scan off in the distance looking for targets. And there we go, there is an enemy tank, but I still can't quite get a good view on it. And actually that enemy tank is actually engaging one of the M60s off in the distance. There we go. Now I got a good thermal contact, good lock on, lays and fire, and we got him. He's toast. And actually you can see it, once again, you can see it actually burning. And actually you do see the turret fly off there, sort of. We fired and hit the next one. And actually now you can see that one is burning off in the distance as well. Okay, I got another tank here. And I actually identify this one as an M60. I could actually see the muzzle brake on the 105mm gun, which is why I did not shoot. I also saw the tumor turret, or the machine gun turret that the TC uses, and that's why I did not shoot nor bother to pursue that tank any further. Now we're just going to scan off in the distance here a bit more and see if there's any other T-55s trying to push. And now the thermal's still a work in progress as well. They have a very basic thermal system in that it is functional. It's nice to see that it's functional, and they're going to be doing some additional work in the future on it. Basically what they have is they don't really have the temperature shifting, if you will. What you're seeing is even though you're seeing that bright green, that's what you'd see on like a hot gun barrel. If the gun barrel had recently been fired, it would be hot like that. The engine deck would be hot like that. Or obviously, if the tank had recently been on fire, it would be hot like that. and then that bright green would kind of dull away as certain areas of the tank would be warm, but not extremely hot, not like an engine. All right, so I'm going to start driving up here, and I'm going to be actually really cautious because I'm actually looking for additional enemies. As you can see here too, that the trees in the ground also shows up in different tones of green as well. Unfortunately, I smacked into a tree there. That's because, once again, you know, I'm old. Okay, that's not I'm old. I just wasn't paying attention. And just keep on. I'm just continuously scanning on the horizon looking for targets. And this is actually an important feature I want to show you, that tank combat is not a balls out, balls to the wall type of thing. You're not always going to be rushing across the battlefield, but you're not always going to be necessarily creeping along like this either. The battlefield, you know, it's a constant changing process. It's not what Hollywood shows you. It's not what you see in some of them tank videos or what you get from certain types of tank games like Armored Warfare. Instead, it can be a slow, dragged-out process, especially when you're trying to find enemies that may be in hull-down positions that are actually waiting for you, which is what I suspect at this point is the enemy AI tanks that are still alive are actually sitting in an ambush position waiting for me to come to them. I'm not quite sure. Okay, there we go. I spotted an enemy vehicle, as I said, and I fired and hit him. I could barely make out what that target was. If this was a real scenario, I don't believe I actually would have made that shot, as I really couldn't identify the vehicle I had actually just fired at. But I suspected it at this point that it was a T-55, which, as I roll through here, I actually did confirm that yes, it was a T-55 that I had destroyed. Now I'm just going to continuously drive through here. I'm still looking for another vehicle. If I recall, for this mission, it's like 4 versus 4. I did notice some FPS dips when I first started, almost like when the script loaded in for the mission AI and everything else. But as things went on, the FPS got more stable and stayed around 60. Like I said, they did mention notes in the notes of some FPS issues. That's why I'm pointing that out. This mission was not so bad for that. And I'm still just driving through up here. As you can see, it's dark. You know, it's nice, it's dark. You can actually see the smoke in the night, which is a nice touch. Couldn't see it well, but you can still see it. Now let's get to the next part here. Now this part's really short. I want to show you this. On the destroyed models, they actually did a simplified interior. It's not really advanced, but they wanted to give you something to look at when you destroyed a vehicle. If the hatches come open, you can see in the interior, or in the case of this T-55, I took out the ammo rack. The tank actually had exploded, and I'm showing you, you can actually see the controls. You can actually see the ammo rack here, and then the turret. You could actually see the gun breech. You could see the crew seats, etc. I felt this was a really nice touch and actually really liked this. And now I got one more section here for you. So the AI tanks are not the only things that will shoot at you. The infantry ATGMs will also shoot at you. And actually, as a new factor, I'm going to shoot this infantry ATGM a little bit. As you can see there, I actually did hit the launcher. I'm actually trying to hit the gunner himself. The gunner himself can be hit, can be killed. Unfortunately, there's no animation for a dead gunner. He's just kind of in a position there. This is for both the Russian launcher and the American TOW launcher. Both of them have impact models. The launchers themselves have impact models. So even if you hit the launcher but don't kill the crewman, it becomes useless. And I'm just trying to show you here that, yes, it is non-operational. I can't do anything with it, etc. Anyway, folks, that is my information I'm giving out for the new Gunner Heat PC update. Now, there's one other thing I want to touch base on. It's looking like near the end of this month, January, folks, is when they're going to be updating the new, going to be releasing the new public build of Gunner Heat PC for people to try out. So that's going to be really interesting to see. There's still going to be some stuff that they're going to be adding. I'm not fully privy to all the information, let alone some of the information that was given to me. I don't know if it can be released, so I'm not releasing that information here at this time. Anyway, folks, once again, check out their Patreon, join their Discord, find out what they're working on. You might be really interested in this game. It's really shaping up to be a very interesting sort of pseudo tank simulator. It's not War Thunder, it's not World of Tanks, but it's not quite Steel Beast or Arma. It kind of fits in the middle of the two areas of these games, of all those games. So it's going to be interesting to see, and I'm very intrigued and very hopeful to see more in the near future. Anyway, folks, thanks again for tuning in. Long video, but hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully I see you again for the next Gunner Heat PC video.